Jeremy from Trading Safely, just doing an update on gold. First of all, I've got a weekly chart of gold in front of me here, and I've got our closing rotational study on it. Each of the colours represents a time frame, so yellow is weekly, monthly is pink, quarterly is brown, semi-annual is blue, and orange is yearly. So the key things to note for this week on a closing basis are well, on the one hand, we have this rising monthly support here at 1241.4. That's a critical level now because we have a falling monthly resistance. So we are creating a very tight range out of which gold needs to break in the short term. Interesting to know from last week, we can see that falling weekly resistance now down to 1269. So that means that we've got a monthly level there at 1269.5 and a weekly level at 1269. So it's all about 1269 for me. And so we've got two falling levels and a host of rising levels as well on gold. So we've got long-term yearly rising, long-term quarterly rising, long-term monthly potentially rising. This needs to hold at the end of the month for this level to be accurate. So it's all saying gold is consolidating and it's coiling for a breakout. That's sort of evidenced as well when we look down here at the midpoints across time. We can see how they're all bunched up together. So basically gold is resolving across time to try and find a path forward to break out. If we look into the short term, there's the daily chart of gold just using the pivots. I keep mentioning this still concerns me for anyone that's long gold at the moment. I do think gold is going up longer term, but right now I've got these quarterly bearish slingshot mode in play. Now that these dots happen when this quarterly bullish pivot moves above the yearly bullish pivot, and that's often associated with moves down. In the short term, we've also had this time-based sell signal. So I've had a fairly high participation across all time frames. And you know the immediate targets this week 1269.4, so that's another 1269 level, and on the downside we've got 1246.5. So if I now come back into our closing support and resistance for our time rotation study in the short term. You know, we're at support here on the volume profile. There's a bit of a zone there between 1253 and 1241, which corresponds with our critical monthly level. I'd like to see this give way to open up 1211.9. The fresh evidence this week is that we have falling weekly resistance. So it's all about 1269 for now. The weight is down. If I look at these studies down below, this one here, this tracks uptrends across time. So 60, 120, 240, 480 minute, daily and weekly, and then down here does the downtrends. So at the moment we can see that the daily trend there is rolled off, and we've got what appears to be, if I just select this cell, actually, it looks like we've got, if I just come to the current candle, we've actually got a weekly downtrend count now too. So it seems to me that the downside trends are starting to outweigh the upside trends here. So that's another bit of evidence. So 1269 on the upside and 1241 on the downside. Gold is congested, it's trapped, it's choppy, it's a bit like the yen. I'd like to see gold break down and enter from the long side in the months and quarters ahead. We'd like to see effectively this scenario here in reverse. So we'd like to see gold get oversold and then create a quarterly slingshot mode from below. So stay tuned for that. Just got to sit here and be patient with gold. So I hope that helps.